Hello YouTube and welcome to GrunfWorks. This is episode 102 of the Interplanetary Voyage of Exploration, and the first one being recorded after I have come back from my long due stay in France for 3 months. So I upfront apologize if I do any mistakes or forget about some of the progression, but first things first. Let's take care of business. We had a Jool Nuke Probe 1, which was long overdue to return back to Kerbin and to the Kerbin sphere of influence. So, the deal is that we have two things that will be happening more or less simultaneously. The first one being the Jool Nuke Probe 1, that will enter the Kerbin sphere of influence, and the second is our carbonite scanner that we have sent to Duna to uncover the riches of the carbonite. That one was supposed to enter Duna's sphere of influence, so we'll have to multitask a little bit. And that's more or less what I'm hoping will be happening during this episode, and after that, if we'll have time, there will be a big interplanetary ship that we have lovingly crafted and built, hopefully entering the Duna sphere of influence. So that's the plan anyway. Now, that being said, let us quickly prepare and execute a maneuver burn that will put our Jool Nuke Probe, carrying a huge amount of science, back to Kerbin on the right trajectory to get aero captured in the Kerbin's atmosphere. Simple. Yeah. So, it is a very small burn, and I believe that should be quite okay. I think we already executed it, and since we're playing with remote tech, we are executing it with a flight computer, meaning that and our time delay is shrinking because we are coming back closer and closer to Kerbin. Okay, that being said, we are about to cross the Kerbin sphere of influence. Like always, guys, I'm playing at times acceleration because some of those things take too long time and it helps compensate for the frame rate. At the time of this recording, 1.1.2 is already out and 1.1.3 is already in experimentals, and I know I've been talking in some of my videos about also considering a playthrough. I'm revising that idea. 1.1.2 or 3 playthrough will occur. I just cannot promise you if it will happen before or after summer. I am making a small surprise. Actually, I'm working on my own version of the tech tree that I would very much like to put out as a mod and use that for my 1.1.3 playthrough. So it is tedious, it does take a lot of time, and especially I've designed the nodes, but it takes a lot of balancing and stuff, and I'm probably do that over summer. But rest assured, Interplanetary Voyage Series will continue, and mod spotlights will continue, and everything else. I'm just not sure if I'll have time to begin another KSP playthrough, and I'm hoping it to be a campaign, so also contracts and everything. Okay. With that out of the way, I would actually also encourage you guys to tell me what is your favorite content, KSP and non-KSP, on my channel, so I could know and tweak to have more of something and less of something. So feel free in the comments below, please do post. Your opinions are very important to me. I would really like to know what it is really that you like and dislike in terms of content, so I can create some more. Anyway, like I said, we have successfully put the Jool Nuke Probe on the trajectory and just slightly corrected the carbonite scanner, prepared the maneuver node that will hopefully also secure us a polar orbit around Duna, because it's a scanner we do want to scan like most of the Duna anyway, so yeah. Okay, coming back to the Jool Nuke Probe, I'm now checking the parachute settings. I want to make sure that everything is ready for deployment, because once we get into the atmosphere, there is a very high probability that none of our antennas will work, and in that case I want to have all my actions prepared, ready and queued by the flight computer. Detach the boosters and let us orient to the orbit retrograde and come in the Kerbin's, close to the Kerbin's atmosphere, where we will prepare for the final descent. Beautiful sight as always. Jool Nuke Probe, after such a long epic voyage, coming back to its final destination. I think it will probably be either the poles or somewhere close by, but maybe not the poles. Anyway, we are descending rapidly. Our periapsis is set to 21 kilometer, which should be more than enough that we get successfully aero captured and landed back. Our parachutes are armed and set to pre-deploy on 30,000 meters and to deploy fully around a couple of thousand. Note, this is 0.90 still, because I didn't want to upgrade a whole boatload of mods that I'm using here, so sorry guys, this series will stay 0.90. But like I said, 1.1 playthrough will be coming, and it will be challenging for me as well, because I will have a great deal to learn about re-entry, heating, heat mechanics, etc. So I'm pretty sure it will be some spectacular explosions to be had once I start that one as well. Now, heating effects and our parachutes already deploying and taking away some of the speed. I mean, from the perspective of 1.1, this might be a little bit cheaty, but from the perspective of 0.90, it was completely valid gameplay mechanics, so because we had no heating, so yeah. Anyway, and we've come so far with this playthrough that I really don't want to just now go from scratch, and updating this one with this amount of mods, with so many intermittent updates, it's completely out of the question. It would really break the save and force me to quit, while I would very much... I have not completed the story yet, simply put. Okay, we are descending, and like always, time acceleration. Our parachutes have deployed or pre-deployed successfully, and I'm waiting until they deploy fully, which should happen at any point soon, around maybe 1,500, and bam, there we go. And now we do a little bit bunga bunga dance or hula dance until our probe gets into the water. 100 meters and coming down for the final touchdown. I hope it won't break too badly. Ouch. Well, it seems to be mostly intact anyway. Now, let us just recover the vessel, because I had a crash, and we get a total of 4,312 science, our science equaling 4,495, which is a boatload of science. Also recovering a little bit of debris, making sure that we leave no trash behind. I mean, it wouldn't be nice. Simply put, so let's take that boatload of science and go a little bit in our tech tree. As you guys remember, I'm playing with Adios tech tree. So we started delving into carbonite rocketry, so I'm thinking I'm gonna go that route. And engine superclusters is definitely something I want to delve more in, because it gives us huge engines to bring all of the massive stuff that I've planned to actually ship up and hopefully deploy in various destinations. So let's go into that one. I was thinking maybe to go with the spaceplane engines, but we're not using spaceplanes yet that much. But we will. Patience. Coming back to our carbonite scanner that is en route to the polar orbit of Duna. Okay, we definitely have a maneuver node that we want to execute, and you can gracefully see Duna and Ike in the background on our arrival. So just queuing some flight commands before we hit the time acceleration and hopefully come to the Duna sphere of well, we already are in the Duna sphere of influence, but come closer to Duna. Okay, I'm holding maneuver prograde in 15 seconds. I just want my craft to orient properly. I really like playing with a flight computer, and you have to account that now that we are at Duna, we have a total of 76 seconds time delay. So that's 1 minute 16 seconds, guys. It would be literally unflyable if I tried to do that manually. So that's the second reason why we have actually shipped the interplanetary ship, which is a command center. As you remember, we have deployed several station parts in the orbit around Duna, and the idea would be that we connect those those several parts together into Duna orbital stations, which we'll use as a staging ground for future Duna missions. Okay, executing the planned maneuver, and I'm hoping that our periapsis seems about right, 300 kilometers over the poles of Duna, I hope. Let us give it a quick look. Yeah, seems more or less legit. And now let's add another maneuver node that will put our probe into the circular orbit around Duna, or maybe a yo-yo orbit, I'm not yet sure, because I don't know what the optimal height for the carbonite scanner is. So, queuing commands once again, and let us enjoy and appreciate the beauty of Duna coming about. Like I mentioned before, Duna is one of my favorite planets in the KSP because it's reminiscent of Mars, and it's just damn gorgeous, especially with this Astronomer's Visual Pack Beta. I'm not using the Interstellar. It's an older pack that was suited for and very popular in 0.90 and 0.25, which for some of you that have joined recently might seem like centuries ago. But still, what can you do? Anyway, flight computer executing the burn and burning over the Duna's poles, enjoying a little bit of Duna's beautiful blue auroras. We have 5 more seconds to burn, and that should put us in 3097 by elliptical higher orbit, which would probably give us still enough. Let's see, start resource scan, and let's see if the height will be right. 59 seconds. We do have connectivity back to the Kerbal Space Center, and I'm thinking that should be about right, so let's set the 300 by 300 kilometers. Point node prograde, and we have 31 minutes before the maneuver. Or 5 hours, 31 minutes, sorry. Okay, going into the high elliptical orbit and getting ready for another burn that will put us into the nicer orbit around Duna. Making sure that this time we have enabled the engine, because yeah, if you disable the engine you cannot burn, obviously. Genius. But that doesn't matter. The total burn will be 174 meters per second. Not too shabby, not too big. I mean, we have a nuclear stage of, like, with Nerva, with total of 1,000 or 3,400, so we have too much fuel almost. Okay. That being said, this guy is deployed, and we still have plenty of time left, meaning the next thing to happen will be our Interplanetary One Duna, the mega ship that we have sent long time ago from Kerbin. I think it was around episode 93 or 97 or something. And that one is entering Duna's sphere of influence. And now guys, since this is a mega ship, this is just a huge dang ship, I have no ambition whatsoever to aerobrake in the orbit around Duna. Admitted, I was tempted by the idea, but given the size of it and just the sheer cumbersomity of it, I dare not do that. But we will pull another trick up our sleeve. I plan to use Ike's gravitational pull, basically to get a gravity assist from it to help me slow down in the orbit around Duna and hopefully get an orbit. I will burn at Ike, and I'm hoping that this burn will be significantly less if I straight burn over Duna. And as you can see, a total burn would be like 14 meters per second to execute first one, and roughly 279 meters per second for the second one, which is not a whole lot given that we have a total of 2175. So very economic. The only downside, which I didn't think when I was designing this sucker, is that I would have very much liked that I was able to detach the rear part of this craft, because we are basically dragging it along. We have spent all the fuel, liquid hydrogen fuel, powering the big engine, but because of the rovers we are still trailing the engine and the solar panels and all that jazz. Well, you live, you learn. But we have our crew, who is Varuk, Mike J, Moomin, Phoenix, Kusta, and one more. I think it's probably HMV Kerman. Now, that is our crew for this big ship. Now, 14 meters per second, executing the burn, getting hopefully a nice Ike periapsis where we'll be able to burn and perform our Duna not aerobrake, but capture. Okay, so let us see and set up. Oh, perfect. We are coming close on Ike, and let's see. As you can see, a total of 297 roughly, or 300, will put us into the orbit, around 100 or more kilometer orbit, and get us lined up because this stack of the station will be connecting to the Duna Orbital 1, which Jeb used for refueling, if you remember a couple of episodes back. So yeah, it was only a part that was brought here by an exploration ship, basically a dock and everything. So I'm just checking because I've noticed that I have a red passenger module. I was scared that there will be some oxygen leaking or something, but that's not the case. And guys, despite the fact that you're seeing these gentle movements, I assure you this is 6.5 times acceleration. Meaning, yeah, I was playing that in 3 frames per second. So, but I admit I enjoy watching it back in like more normal frames per second. It just looks way cooler. We can see Duna in the background, and I'm pretty sure we will be using one of these things for the screenshot of the episode. Maybe after I fix that crew cabin. Anyway, turning, beautiful screens, really. Aligning ourselves, trying to use as little RCS as possible. We do have RCS fuel, but we will be needing it to dock the station, so I really don't want to waste my RCS fuel. We are coming closer on Ike, and our maneuver node is in 37 minutes. We have crossed the sphere of influence, so now we are in Ike's sphere of influence, I believe. Perfect. And we have some extra science. For the time being, I'm gonna leave the science be, because I don't know what we have and I don't want to take double science and clog some of my experiments. So, coming ever so carefully on Ike, and we have a beautiful Duna rise in the background. Now this is a perfect shot for the, I think, for the screen cap for the episode, I guess. It's just damn gorgeous. Okay. Turning, because there we will be introducing some G's, so I want them to be positive G's rather than negative, so we are turning to make sure that, well, our crew doesn't experience that much. And then I realize I'm backflipped sideways, so I figured this would make a nicer picture while we burn. So Kerbals are used to tolerating all kinds of G's and spaceflight, so it's their problem. Okay, getting closer to our burn. And we are in the closing up on our periapsis, and once again taking the final screenshot. And let's see, T minus 40 seconds, which means we will be kicking the gas right about now, and hopefully we will be performing a brake and capture by the Duna, making sure to try to be as much on target as possible. Like I said, dragging the tail, not the best solution, but I'll take what I can get. I mean, it would be even worse if we ditch the rovers, because the rovers, I plan to use them as scouts to find a suitable place for our future Duna surface colony that I even haven't started to design yet. But first we have to establish our foothold into the Duna system. So, well, not system, but around Duna, because we will have flights going there back and forth, and we cannot afford not to have a station. Okay, burning, 90 more meters per second to go, which means we will get a nice elliptical orbit around Duna, and when we get to the periapsis, I fully intend to reduce the periapsis even further, because we will be, I believe we will be sticking around 100 kilometers apoapsis. And beautiful capture, and I think it's about right. Let's see. Yeah, Duna periapsis 300 kilometers. We'll use that one as a starting ground, and then we will descend with the rest of our craft. Okay, anyway. Now, the next thing to happen is we will take this craft, and I just want to make sure that I transfer all the fuel out of the stage that I'm about to ditch. Once I come to that location, once we come to the periapsis, I want to make sure that I have emptied the rear fuel tank and completely replenished our fuel for the rest of the lander. So, let's see. Red dot still indicating that we still are the command center, that we will be able to take the signal, which is great. I'm just preparing the maneuver node that will take us roughly in the realm of our satellites, and I just want to fix the inclination a little bit as well, because we want to get in the roughly the same inclination as the Duna orbital, because we will be rendezvousing with it. Okay, I'm trying to fix my flight engineer, which does get spooked from time to time, given the size of this craft and everything. So on the next pass, I want to just fix my inclination relative to the Duna orbital 1, and it will be a small burn, roughly 30-ish meters per second. nothing major, but that means we will be doing one more revolution around Duna. I have to be careful because I don't want to get accidentally recaptured by Ike. So yeah, I was just calculating just to make sure that that does not happen. And on the second pass we will be doing the brake maneuver. Okay, getting positioned, ready for the inclination fix. Okay, everything inglorious, 5 times acceleration, so sorry if some of the movements get a little bit janky. I was trying to keep in mind that I will be accelerating things to make it a little bit more smoother experience for you guys. T minus 20 burn and getting ready. And kicking the gas. A little bit of wobbly there, but given the length of our vessel, I'm not overly surprised. Okay. I think that this design of the ship was actually pretty good because it was a pull-push configuration. If it was be only pushed with this length of a ship, I don't think it would be too stable now. So I think that this worked rather well. Okay, and now we are preparing for another 100 meters per second burn, which should hopefully result in reducing the apoapsis. Turning our ship. Ooh, a little bit of wobble there. Noodle behavior. Okay, and beautiful screenshot over here, and we are going closer and closer to the Duna, so I think it will be fine. Okay, coming up on the periapsis and getting ready for the burn. 103 meters per second. 45 seconds, but I think it will be a little bit longer. Oh! Ouch! It seems that some of our engines gave out because of the lack of, what was it, fuel or oxidizer? Oh, come on, fix it quickly. Stop. Transfer out. Did I forget anything? What the hell happened? Oh! Some of the liquid fuel, yeah, I forgot to pump out the oxidizer out of the rear tank. Okay, quickly, let's fix that. Where is my... yeah... transfer out, great. Now we can actually continue our burn. Sorry, it was a little bit... I haven't noticed that one tiny detail. Nevertheless, I think, guys, by the way, we are closing in on the 30-minute mark. Once we actually wrap up this burn, I think that I will be calling it for the episode. I'm just making sure that I will be able to detach these guys in the rear, and I want to be fixing this ugly red thing with our engineer, and our engineer is Kusta. So, okay, little buddy, go and please fix. Or was it Phoenix? Okay. Anyway, coming in, and that's it. Great. Now it's fixed. So, guys, we're coming up on the next episode. In the next episode, find out if we will be able to assemble our orbital station. Until then, thank you very much for watching. This is GrunfWorks signing off.